So seeing the world through 4'3" tall eyes, Julie Genovese grew up feeling different than everyone else. Born with dwarfism and degenerative arthritis, Julie knew that she faced a lifetime of obstacles.
Hi, my name is Julie Genovese. I'm an author and an artist and a mother of 2 little boys. I was born with spondyloepiphyseal dysplasia. Very long word for a little person. Basically is a form of dwarfism. Growing up, being a dwarf was complicated. My family was wonderful to me, but when I went out in public, it was such a difference that led to a lot of confusion. When someone stared, it caused me to doubt myself and to wonder, what is it they're seeing that's so different? Instead of listening to myself, which was always saying, you're great, you're fine, I started listening to the world's voice saying, you don't fit in, you're different. It wasn't hard making friends. Boys scared me. I desperately wanted someone to love and accept me, but I thought, that is just not gonna happen for me.
Ever since we've been together, I can honestly say I've never really seen a dwarf. I see a very large person because the way she carries herself, the things she does, her accomplishments. Her being small is in no way a reflection of what she's capable of.
I started to write in order to vent, and when I realized that it was healing me, I thought, maybe other people will be helped by this, just to know how similar we all are.
And Julie has just written a book about her experiences. It is called Nothing Short of Joy. And let us welcome Julie. Julie, please come on out. Let's see you. It is so wonderful to meet you.
Hi.
Thank you very much
Thank you for having me.
Sit. You are 4'3" tall.
Yes.
As I understand it, your oldest son, who's now 9, is waiting to tower over you, right?
He's waiting. That's sort of a milestone for the kids in our neighborhood.
Yeah, you talk about, in the book, you talk about really about how this is not a story about being a little person. It's just a story about being a human. Why did you want to write this book?
Well, it started because I needed a place to just get my feelings out. I did not know I was going to be writing a book, but it was so cathartic for me that I started to realize how similar all these feelings were when I shared them with friends and family. I thought, this could really help other people, and it had clearly helped me.
What I found so interesting, particularly in the beginning when you're talking about your childhood, is this sense that you had that somehow you were defective. And I found that really sad and heartbreaking, and yet it's how you felt.
Yes. I was very sure that being born a little person was going to forever compromise my ability to be happy or to find peace. And then I discovered that it was the thing that taught me the most about where true joy really lies.
You've had 2 knee replacements, 2 hip replacements, 2 brain surgeries, all in efforts to make you more comfortable.
Yes.
And to make you more mobile.
Yes.
After all of that, it must have been so difficult.
Well, once it's done, though, as long as you're not carrying any baggage about it, and I realized what an advantage, having the medical world there to help me, as opposed to how they treated me as a child. I felt I was a specimen. So I came full circle to be able to walk again easily and move around more easily. So it all turned out well. You
start the book by hiding because you don't want to go to yet another doctor to have another diagnosis. And your brother, we should also say, you're one of 6 siblings,
yes.
And one of your brothers also has dwarfism.
Yep.
So you and he shared a lot as you were growing up, and yet what I find startling in the book is that you talk about how your family never really shared your feelings.
Yeah, it was a very, very loving atmosphere, very accepting. I felt part of my family, part of the world when we were together, but my parents did not want to point out my differences, and they didn't realize that I was misinterpreting that silence as shame instead of, we just love you the way you are.
So how could they have done that differently?
It's hard to say now because really it's, when there's a limit put on you, that silence really caused me to learn how to communicate and why I wanted to communicate. So everything has its good side, and I don't know if I would change it now. I guess I would have constant conversations with my child about how the world might view me, but that's not how I have to view myself.
It took a long time for you to find love. Your husband, Bill, who is 5 feet 7 inches tall.
Yes.
Because you say very clearly that you were afraid that you were not capable of being loved by somebody, again, because of that feeling you had inside.
Yes.
How did it happen that you actually met Bill and were able to finally let him in?
There were a lot of years where I was just pushing it away. I was saying that I wanted love and acceptance, but I was expecting pain and disappointment. And so in order to protect myself, I hid away. And when I realized that I was doing it to myself, I started to change the way I looked at it and to find things I did like about myself and ways in which I could give. So as I was changing, that's when I met Bill.
But that's such a journey. I mean, how do you get to that place? I think everybody in the world, no matter what their difficulties are, obstacles or challenges, wants to get to that place.
I think there's a saturation point where you just had it. I had it with the rage I felt, the anger, the sadness, and I was looking for a way to change it. And these self-help books I found said, your joy is not based in your circumstances. It's based in your reaction to them and your attitude. And so I thought, if I've had anything to do with the fact that there's been sadness, I can be the one to bring in more joy.
I want to read the very last words in this book, which says, those who I thought were my enemies became my allies. Pain moved towards healing. Hate turned to love, fear to joy. I'd once judged my life as inadequate, but from my soul's perspective, it had always been magnificent. Being born different was not a curse in the end, it was magic. How did you write this?
Well, because I believe it. Because I've seen what my body taught me. The thing that I thought was going to rip away all my chances for joy was the thing that really became my greatest teacher. To not be about the external, to really go inside and find out what we're here for and what we're here to give and to receive, and how we all are so similar. We all have such deep dreams and hopes and fears. That's the stuff we want to share, not the facade that everything's okay and we're not actually scared when we are.
The book is called Nothing Short of Joy. Julie Genovese, thank you so much for sharing this with us. We really appreciate it.